What is poppin', y'all? It's your boy, D-Mari, aka D-Ron. So, back with another video. So, we're going to be checking out an interview from Chris Van Vliet. This is a special guest from the Dudley boys, Spike Dudley. Not Devon or Bubba Ray. Spike Dudley. If y'all know anything about Spike Dudley during his days in WWE, Spike Dudley, the way I could describe Spike Dudley, he was like the guy that was like, I'm not gonna compare to him as Mick Foley, but he was kind of like similar to him. It's like the guy was just super skinny. He was just being thrown around, tossed around, being slammed around by the big boys, the big dogs. And honestly, Spike Dudley, in my opinion, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But other thing is, he was wrestling in WWE for a couple of years until he ended up leaving. I don't know exactly why he left WWE or probably retired from wrestling, but he was wrestling for TNA a little bit. I actually did saw some clips a little bit a couple of years ago when he was still in, but let's see the reason of why he chose to leave wrestling. And before we get into all of that, if you have not already yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on social media and turn on notifications because I will be posting every single week. So any further ado, let's get straight into this.
You don't feel tough anymore?
Not in that sense, no. I mean, I think I'm capable of violence, but I'm out of it. I mean, I've been out of it. I haven't wrestled a match in 15 years.
Yeah, what's your relationship with wrestling like now?
I don't really have one. I'm out of it. When it was time to get out, it was time to get out. My wife was pregnant. And okay, so this is what happened. This is how I officially got out of the business. My wife was a few months pregnant with our first daughter, first kid.
And this is what, 2010?
2010. She was born, yeah, that'd be 2010. Yep. And I was working for 2CW in Syracuse, New York, which is a great promotion. It's no longer there, but at the time it was an awesome promotion. Awesome promotion. It's great guys. Truly, aside from like ECW, this group is the group that's like closest to my heart in terms of the boys and all of that. And they used me a lot at that company. But they booked me in a match against Sabu. Again, R.I.P.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah, but first things foremost, I do want to say rest in peace to Sabu. He did pass away earlier this year, so I just wanted to put that out there. Rest in peace to Sabu.
I drove up there. It's about a 5-hour drive. Drove up, and I did the show, and I got my arm sliced.
Look at that scar.
Yeah, that's my Sabu scar.
Oh my gosh.
But after, like, it wasn't bleeding that bad. It was a slice. Like, it was just...
From what?
Gimmick. It was, honestly, going into it, I was like, this is going to be my Sabu match. I'm going to do, you know, and I was like, I'm going to do my arm. Self-inflicted, you know it is. But, so I saw it, and I taped it up, and I got into my car, and I drove home. And I got home at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Damn.
Got met with my wife. She's like, "Are you okay? Everything all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I fell asleep. And I woke up at like 9 the next morning. I start to peel the tape off, and blood just started gushing. And I was like, "Honey, I think we got to go to the emergency room." But then that was the moment where I realized, okay, I'm going to be a father. I can't be doing this crazy stuff anymore. Because physically, that's what I did was take bumps. And no matter how indestructible we all think we are, you hit a wall where you cannot do that anymore. So I was like 40, 41, something like that at the time. And that was the eye-opener that, okay, I can't do this and be a responsible parent any longer. So I got my stitches, and I called it quits. I had a couple of matches after, but that was the signal that you're done with the business.
But so many wrestlers say they're going to get out and they still keep one foot in. It's a match every month or it's conventions.
No.
What was the line? That was the line in the sand for you?
Well, I had to talk with my wife, and then her name's Vicky. Vicky was just like, you know, Matt, if you're going to get out, you got to get out. Like this, and you're not doing it for me. You're not doing it for our daughter. It's either you get out or you don't get out. But if you decide to stay in, think of the consequences. And I was just like, nope, I'm out. So at that point, I was out, and that was it. I mean, for years, I still get requests. You still wrestle and stuff like that, but I wasn't interested. I didn't want to, especially once my daughter was born. I never wanted to miss a day.
Man, I know that feeling. I know exactly what that feeling is. It's like you've been like into wrestling for so long, even when like you start training like at like a certain age, but as years and years go on, you're gonna start to realize that should I keep doing this? Or could I find something else other than wrestling? And that's like what most wrestlers are somewhat in like a circulation at. It's like they want to wrestle, but at the same time, it's like they want to find other things to do in life outside of wrestling. Because peep this, because they've been wrestling for so much long, putting their bodies on the line, and it's gonna get like a toll on themselves. It's like, yeah, I have to wrestle for the fans and all, but at the same time, it's like, do I want to keep entertaining the fans and show them, like what I've been doing and actually entertain you guys? And that's something that I was respect from like every single wrestler, not just AEW, not just WWE, but all wrestling promotions that just like to like want to wrestle, not just for like a job, but this is like a dream job to them since they were like kids that's been like watching wrestling from like the 80s, from the 90s, and all of that. It's like you get into the business and you've been in it for so long, and it's like now I need to figure out, do I still want to still wrestle, and actually continue my wrestling career? Because sometimes when a wrestler ended up getting like, shorten their career or have like a long career, like it just depends on like the body type of how long that your body can hold up, as long as you keep wrestling. Because it's gonna get to a amount of time, it's like your body's telling you something that you need to like slow it down a bit. Because you get to that age of like about like in your about in like your mid 40s, now being into your 50s, your begin 50s, and that's like the time where you're gonna really start thinking that I need to just retire from wrestling and just find something else to do in life. And I kind of get that feeling from like wrestlers that still want to continue on with their wrestling careers out inside the ring and most likely outside of wrestling. So I respect for every single wrestler that literally wanted to do this, and now they're getting older and they're gonna start realizing that I need to just take a break for a while, or even else, just like I've been doing wrestling for so long that it's just time for me to just take a break from them. So I kind of get what Spike Dudley is kind of getting from here. So yeah, I kind of understand that feeling a bit.
Driving to Ohio to do an indie show for a couple $100 or something like that, and like the time with the family was more important than I had my run. I had a blast. I had a great career, proud of it and all that. But I couldn't. I can't. Even if like, let's say WWE offered me a job as an agent or something like that, I couldn't have done that either. It's the same thing. You're on the road, traveling. You're all over the place. I couldn't do it anymore, and be a father.
I've heard so many wrestlers just say like, I wanted to get out, but I missed the pop. Even if it's just a few hundred people, I missed that reaction from the crowd.
I mean, there's a little bit of that. Like I would occasionally I'll go and do an autograph appearance or something, and there's a local group that like every 2 years I'll go and referee a match or something, and there is something about that. But I will say it was the internal pop. It was never like I loved the audience and the crowd, but that wasn't what was the satisfying thing for me. The satisfying thing for me was doing something in the ring that I knew only I could pull off, or very few people could pull off, and the boys' reactions. Like, getting a pop from the crowd is awesome. It's a great feeling. But when you come back and the guys are like, "Are you all right?" "Yeah, no problem, no problem." That was the satisfying thing. And I'll be honest, I got that at the WWE when I first went there. because there was a lot of the guys, they knew ECW, but they didn't study it and stuff like that. So when I came in and they started putting me on TV, and Bubba and Devon are beating the shit out of me, and then I'd come back and there'd be like Gary Briscoe or Pat Patterson or Jim Ross going, "Holy shit, are you okay? Are you okay?" Yeah, why? What's the problem? That was what was satisfying.
Man. Yeah, just being on the road for about 300 days a year, and you got kids that you want to see, and a lot of wrestlers don't really get that. Especially like during like holidays, they'll get to see them, and then they had to hit back on the road to perform, to wrestle. And that's like the only things that wrestlers don't really have as much. I mean, nowadays. And with crowd pops, I mean, I'll be honest, like, even with now, it's like, with WWE, it's like they're bringing back people. And I'm only using this for example, to let you know. It's like they always using like Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, AJ Lee, the people who hasn't been here that long, who's been gone for like a couple years, about 10 to about 15 years, and then WWE with this Hastashnik pop phrase that they are starting to reduce now. And that's mostly what it is right now with WWE. It's mostly like shock and just getting loud pops. That's literally all it was. When Stone Cold came out here, because at least with Stone Cold back in the 90s, early like the mid 90s of the Attitude Era, that was the thing when Stone Cold, when you hear that glass break and the crowd will pop, they will go crazy. They will go crazy when Stone Cold comes out. And it's like nowadays, you don't really get that nowadays. I mean, you somewhat get that kind of pop crowd reactions nowadays, but at the same time, it's like, you still do, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of like dies down of like when somebody has not been on television for like months or weeks until they get like no reaction. Like when you make a return to wrestling and then you get no reaction, but at the same time, you still get like a major pop. Like top stars like Roman Reigns, The Rock, Stone Cold, The Undertaker, those types of people. Because those people make sense of that kind of ascent. Because they are the biggest stars. For like the newest stars, it's like they somewhat get that. But it's not as like Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, like Roman Reigns. And Cody. But yeah, that's all I have to say. But Spike Dudley, he deserves to get in the Hall of Fame. And I don't know when or what that he's going to get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Because he should have been inducted to the Hall of Fame with the Dudleys. Which, speaking to the Hall of Fame, I do want to bring up this, that I forgot to mention this in my WrestlePalooza review, that Stephanie McMahon has been inducted in the class of 2026 for next year in the Hall of Fame. I do want to say congrats to Stephanie, even though she has, well, not somewhat, well, let me put it like this. She has been putting her heart and soul for everything she was doing with WWE, and I'll give a lot of respect for her for what she was doing, and I will respect that. Even though people hated Stephanie from way back in the day when she was with Vince and the whole McMahons, with Vince and Shane, everybody else, but still, she was still like her heart and soul with WWE. She was in the heart and soul of it, and I'm not taking nothing away from that. And honestly, she deserves it. If anybody deserves to get into the Hall of Fame, it's her. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from that. So congratulations, Stephanie. She's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame next year, and I really do wish that they would induct Spike Dudley into the Hall of Fame. Probably next year. If they're not going to do that, then probably in 2027. Who knows? But y'all let me know what's your thoughts about this, and follow me all social medias down below. I'll be back with another video. Peace.
My moment to shine. This is my time of flight. I've been grinding forever just for this very night. I've been pushing for many moments like this. This time is undervalued and no one ever could.